Disclaimer. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Don't take any of the following seriously. Isaac and his mother lived alone in a small house on a hill. Edmund McMillan, you little fucker. Hello and welcome. Okay. This is the Coincast. Alright, so we're doing a new thing. This is called a podcast. May have not heard it before. We're going to be discussing different topics of basically whatever we want. It can be media, it could be IRL stuff. Today we're going to be doing Isaac. The Binding of Isaac.
But you see, everyone always talks about Isaac's mother, but never talks about Isaac's father.
Yeah.
It's because he
we
left.
We need to bring Isaac's father
ending.
into the game.
Yeah, we need to bring back alcoholism.
You guys have not played Repentance. He is at the end.
I don't know why the mom isn't in the game in any stage at all.
Oh, yeah, all 18 versions of her.
This is not. This is not what we're supposed to be doing.
The misinformation podcast of all time.
That's what we should call it, the misinformation podcast, and just give untrue facts
Yes.
about stuff.
Real news, Edmund McMillan released new Isaac plushies. They're now available at Walmart.
That's big news. Also, there's multiplayer in the game maybe, but more importantly, the plushies.
Maybe. I'm finding the plushies at walmart.com right now.
Let us know how much they are, Jamie.
I will. $40 fucking dollars.
That's a rip. Isaac's a game that I've played for a long time. There's gonna be a lot of those jokes, but Isaac is a game that I've played for a long time. I think I've owned it since 2016 or 17. The game came out in 2014, and the original Flash was 2011. Ed McMillan, he made other games like Super Meat Boy and shit. But I think Isaac's probably his most popular.
I don't know if would Isaac be considered more popular than Super Meat Boy? I feel like Super Meat Boy is more well known in an older audience than the younger audience.
I can compare the sales.
But I think Isaac is more reputable and has more, kind of give and take, especially since he made, the board game, the card game, this game, the spin-offs, the merch. Meanwhile, Super Meat Boy is kind of faded into obscurity at this point.
I played Super Meat Boy. I didn't finish it. I got through most of the game. And I've played the original Flash Isaac, which kind of is a piece of shit. It's very much 2011 Flash game.
Yeah.
But the remake was banging, and I think everybody agreed on that.
This game's...
This is before the DLCs.
Yeah. Like, even just Rebirth, like, the base game was good. And then we have Afterbirth, we have Afterbirth Plus, and Repentance. And I don't know if the new multiplayer is going to be another DLC, maybe.
I don't think he's going to charge for that. I feel like that's
if it's free, that's pretty sweet.
That is going to be awesome if it is free.
I hope so.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be scummy just to release the exact same build, but with multiplayer capabilities.
I don't know, maybe he was gonna add more items.
Like when A Hat in Time released multiplayer in one of their DLCs, it wasn't just here's multiplayer for $9.99. It was here is the newest levels, but also built into this DLC is the ability to play multiplayer with somebody else who owns the DLC as well. Mm-hmm. Like just selling it with the exact same build, but with the button enabled, is just a little shitty. That's pretty stupid.
Yeah. So hopefully it actually works in everyone's favor and they just give it to us for free.
Yeah, and when the beta test happened, that was a shit show in its own, but when the beta test happened, it was for free to try. Obviously beta tests normally are free as long as you opt into it, but there's games out there that, you have to pay to beta test it.
Right.
One of the interesting things that we could talk about is how did we even start playing? And I'll start, and then we'll go from there.
The biggest backstory, yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
I think, one of the videos that got me to actually look more into the game, because I knew sort of the game, but I watched Uber Danger's review of Isaac, which is only a 15-minute video, I think, but he covers most of the game in that, and that actually got me more interested because he showed off the progression of the game. And so I think that's when I actually went ahead and bought Isaac. And that, like I said, that was back in 2017. And I think, Matt, I was the one who convinced you to get it,
Yeah, you were
right?
100%.
I can't remember for you, Mario. Was it just me or was there other stuff?
Well, you were the one who got me into it fully because we did watch the Uberdanger video, but I was
Mm,
also kind of in that genre, that like whatever my phase was that fucking time of year.
the
I
roguelike
was the
phase.
roguelike phase because I was playing shit like Wizard of Legend.
Yeah.
Then I started playing Isaac. Then I was playing a little bit more Bullet Heaven type stuff, like Bullet Hells, right? So like
I like
I
the
was in I
longevity of
was into that.
Isaac.
Yeah, I was into that, and then the reason why like I started it was it was something that it wasn't going to be completed right away. Like if we're just going to pull a little bit here, not on Isaac. Wizard of Legend, I have 43 hours into it, and I'm pretty much done it. Like I've tried every weapon combination that I've like, except the ones that really did interest me. I've unlocked every ability. Like I don't have that much time into it, but the game, like it's replayable because everything's generated to an extent. Like there's tile sets and stuff, not like fully
Hmm.
like Isaac that has a lot of different rooms, but you know, you have your 40 hours, 50 hours, and then that was it. But Isaac, I you don't even have everything unlocked with the amount of hours you have in the game.
I think
Like
Bassam, our buddy, actually has more hours. Or not more hours. He has slightly less hours than me, but more achievements. I think I'm at
but he's
390 something of 630.
he's specifically playing for
He's
achievement,
playing for
right?
achievements. I sort of don't play as much for achievements, and I've just played the game a lot, so I've gotten a lot of achievements. I've been trying to get like check marks for each character. Um,
Well, there you go.
haven't been
There's the
achievement
difference because
hunting,
if
but
you're
it's
playing,
literally it is one of those games that's like, okay, you better dedicate a lot of fucking time if you want to 100% this game.
and it also depends on how you play. Because if we're really going to get into the nitty and gritty of it, if you're playing normal mode, then you have to go back and get all the hard check
Get
marks.
everything on hard, yeah.
You're literally doubling your fucking time right there.
And then there's
If
Yeah.
also
you're looking
great
to unlock
and
everything,
greedier.
And that's why
which
I
is
say to
basically the same
most new
thing.
players is play on normal until you beat mom like once and then switch to hard, honestly, because you got to get used to hard. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
that's the difficulty you're gonna have to end up playing on if you want to actually get further into the game. I think you
But
actually
there's
have to play on hard to progress.
well, I don't know
I
about that
think
one
so,
to be
yeah.
honest.
I think for some bosses you actually need to be
I
playing on
think you
hard mode.
have to play on hard to get past mom's
The
heart or
only thing,
something
the
Yeah.
like
only thing
Yeah,
this.
I
on
think it ends
unlock,
at Mom's Heart.
the only thing for unlocks are the babies. So that's why like there's really nothing locked behind hard mode aside from the babies, I believe.
I swear that there's
I
something
could be
like
wrong
this.
with
Matt,
that.
look this up.
I'm
Uh,
90% sure that all bosses are able to be completed on hard mode. However, you can't get past Mom's Heart because it just ends.
on
I'm googling
normal.
it right now. Yeah, on normal mode.
Okay. And that is something
Really?
with Isaac is that you have to beat these bosses like a couple times, and I think that's sort of done to get the player used to the progression in the game. So you need to beat Mom 5 times to unlock Mom's heart. Then you have to beat Mom's heart 10 times, and then you have to beat Isaac 5 times and Satan 5 times to get to the lower floors below that. So that's what, 20 times or something? And you're not gonna get to the bosses like when you first start out. You're gonna die most of the time.
Well, aside from like the more likely to have curses, hearts are less dropping, and like pickups are less
Yeah.
dropped, right? The biggest really the biggest change is that each floor actually generates 2 to 3 more rooms if you're on hard mode than normal.
Oh, it actually generates more
It
rooms.
There's 2 to 3 more rooms generated per each floor when you're playing hard mode rather than
That's
normal
actually
mode.
interesting. I did not know that.
Everything else is like straight up just less of a chance or whatever, right? Or,
Mm-hmm.
certain enemies and bosses have increased shots and movement speed. But like the biggest change in the actual game, I think, is the fact that there's more rooms per floor. The floors are bigger.
The floor
And
layout is a huge fucking part of the game.
and the difficulty 1 floors, because you know how floors are labeled as a difficulty, have like a reduced chance of appearing, so there are going to be just more difficult floors in general, different tile sets, right? So the last things that are unlocked, so yeah, everything in hard mode unlocked. Sorry, because I have the page open here. Is the co-op babies. However, the exceptions are Godhead,
Mm-hmm.
Smelter, Marrow, Mega Mush, Death Certificate, and the entire character Bethany. Those are the only things that are locked behind hard mode. So realistically, if
Hmm.
someone did just want to play on normal road, they're not losing out. Like
They're
they
definitely
can
not
go
losing out.
further, right?
I think a big part of Isaac is the hardness and the RNG. Because if you don't like RNG in your games, you're not gonna like this game.
That's very true.
That's kind of just how it is. And sometimes you get lucky with a run and you get 2020, you get all these crazy items, and sometimes you just get fucked. Um, and a lot of the fun with the game is being able to take a shitty run, for example. A lot of the time you will just restart if you're trying to go for a boss. But if you're just playing, I'll often take a shitty run and just see how far I can get with that, even with shittier items. We were talking about this, like the hardness in video games,
Yeah.
and like how hard should a video game be, how much should be skill versus like up to luck or whatever. Like what
I mean,
is
I think
your sort
depending on
of,
what items
what
you
do you
get
think
for
about
Isaac.
Isaac? Like do you think Isaac has struck a good middle ground, or do you think it should swing one way or the other, or stuff like this?
Well, again, that's the whole RNG thing, right? So it's like if you get like godly items, you're gonna feel like a god, which is
Mm-hmm.
a really nice feeling because most of the time you don't get godly items. You're gonna get like mediocre items at best, and every now and then you might get something that's fun to use, and then you'll end up dying because you get cocky with it.
That's true.
So yeah,
Yeah, but I mean that just comes down to you played it incorrectly then. Like even though you're that strong, you still have to watch your back, be careful, whatever, right? Like
yeah. Well, that's what
the
happens when you
game
change it from like try hard mode to I'm having fun now mode, and then you just die.
the game inherently itself, I would say, has a higher floor. Like it's hard
Skill
to
floor.
get good. Yeah, like it's hard to get like when you start playing the game for the first time, you're
Mm-hmm.
shit. You're gonna be terrible. You're not gonna get to mom. I don't even think I beat mom in my first 5 to 10 games. Like I don't remember me first playing. And I also remember this for sure. Anytime that I go back to the game, like I haven't played the game in a long time now, but anytime I go back to it, I'm dog shit. Like I'm terrible at the game and I need to play like a bunch of games just to kind of build up the skill again to where I was at to go, okay, then now I'm feeling more comfortable with the controls again, with the movement, with the enemy movements, whatever, right? Like there is so much in this game, especially with the lack of I feel like we're going to talk about this later, especially with the lack of a item description that's actually built into the game.
Hmm.
I feel like you learning one, how to use the third parties to figure out what item you're about to grab, or two, just memorizing what items are what in the game to pick up.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's a big learning curve, you know? It's like jumping into League of Legends for the first time. One, you're gonna figure out how to move your character and how to attack, cool. But now you gotta worry about the 700 other fucking things that's going on, and Isaac has the same thing, especially with the synergies of different items. And oh my God, why am all of a sudden am I throwing babies instead of tears? Why are the babies exploding after I grab this one item? Like it just, you know what I mean? That sounds really weird out of context.
I mean, it's real though. It's literally
Like,
real.
it's
Yeah.
literally real.
I'm pretty sure you
But
could
like,
probably pick up two items in Isaac and have exploding baby tears.
but every single item combination, not just 2 items, 5 items together, 8 items together, like that's what makes it replayable. But also that's what I think makes it extremely difficult because you know that you're getting better at this game. And it's funny because it's a single player game, so there's no competition really against anybody else. But you know you're getting better at this game when you are going into an item room and you go, yeah, no, I don't really need to pick that up because a
Yeah.
new person is going to pick up every single item,
And they're
and
gonna
that's
pick up
and
Bob's
that can
brain, they're gonna
and
pick
they
up
can
Tiny
fuck up every
Planet, and they're
yeah
gonna
they,
Oh
hate
my
it.
god.
they're gonna and then
You're
they're
gonna
not gonna
hate it.
return because they're like that was terrible, like
You know,
you know
and
what I
then
mean.
but sometimes you have fucking brimstone, so you obviously do pick up Tiny Planet because it just makes a
True.
laser circle around you. But normally, I want to blow my brains out when I pick up that item.
But like I think the game is inherently hard, but not so much with the gameplay. Once you know meet a boss for the first time, yeah, it's hard.
It's a lot of
After the
learning.
third time, fourth time, fifth time, you know, you know what the pattern is. You know how to beat it, right? It's just, okay, am I good enough to beat it?
There
I
are
wouldn't say it's
so
inherently
many
hard, but
enemies too. Like,
There are so many enemies.
this is one thing we were talking about, and we mentioned item descriptions, and we'll get to that. But another thing is there is no mod that just tells you what all the enemies are. You just need to figure that out. You need to figure out like how enemies move, like if they're projectile, if they're whatever they do. If
Do they
you kill this
explode?
guy, he fucking is going to explode and drop a million bugs all over the fucking screen. You need to worry about that kind of thing. I definitely
Yeah.
think Repentance added a lot more weird ass enemies too, and annoying ones, but that's a big learning curve for the game. I think Isaac's got pretty unique enemy design. I like their enemies. They don't they feel brainless enough sometimes, but sometimes they run right at me and I actually like freak out.
103 bosses is freaking wild now that I'm
That
thinking
is
about
actually
that.
crazy.
That's
Yeah,
pretty wild.
that's a good amount of bosses to memorize, right?
Yeah. And they all have like unique stuff too, which is it's easy. Surely.
And so we brought it up, but we might as well talk about it now, I guess. Uh, the mod that everybody uses, which is the item description mod, which tells you what items do, probably should be a toggle in the base game,
I would
honestly,
agree.
because as much as new players do like to explore, and I mean, I kind of floundered around until I was told to go get this mod, basically, to figure out what stuff is. But having that there for new players makes a crazy difference because then you actually see that, like, oh, this item is shit. You know what I
Especially
mean?
especially since, and I ran it, I don't know if Matt did, but this happened to me because I was very upset. Especially since the game supports its mods. Like there's a Steam page for it. It's not like you got to go on an external website and crack the game to figure out how to mod it, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
It supports it on the Steam Workshop. The external item mod is the most, or the external item description mod is the most downloaded one, obviously. However, you can't tell your friend who's just starting to play it to get the mod because they they stop all progression on your account until you
Right.
beat mom without any mods on for the first time.
Mm,
That's
So
right.
you're forced to play the game using just the website or just using the like searching it up and making your gameplay even slower because you're not even allowed just to have the external item description mod on for your first time playing to help you learn the game. That was a big pet peeve of mine when it came to why I think the external item description should even be just based in the game anyways, because it's funny and all that when you pick up the item, it says a little blurb, but like if that blurb told you exactly what it did, all right, different story. Maybe you don't need the description because you can pick it up and see what it does, right? But when it just says like you pick up, the shit and it just goes, "Uh-oh, stinky." Like what the fuck does that
Yeah.
mean? Like what is that? Like what is,
You are a wizard. What?
like yeah, like yeah, it doesn't tell you that your shots are shooting
Puberty.
two sides outside your eyes
Yeah.
now, right? Like
Until you try it for yourself.
so like but the biggest thing is the fact that you have to do that first, you have to get that first win. And because you're going to be bad at the game, now I'm talking from new player experience. Once you get past this one thing, like you just have the mod on completely and then all progression is saved. Like
Yeah.
it'll continue no matter what you
You just
do,
need to
your
beat mom
progression's
that
there.
first time to
You
sort
just need to
of
beat mom that first
break through
time.
that part of the game to enable mods.
Yeah. But no, but you could still enable mods beforehand, but your game will always end at mom, right?
Yeah, you can't progress. Like, it locks the progression of the game.
Yeah.
Bro, crazy anti-piracy screen.
I've I don't think that's what that actually is why.
I have no idea. I just think it's funny.
Let's just get into some like of the just regular gameplay stuff. What do you guys like to play? Like, what's your favorite character?
This is such a funny one because I know what Matt's gonna say.
Yeah, we already know
Yeah.
what Matt's gonna say.
You already,
because
yeah,
he's an
I'm a
absolute
diehard
I think-
fan.
I mean, tell us why you like Azazel first.
Well, Azazel is the best. He has flight. He has a miniature brimstone. He has extremely high damage. He has pretty high base movement speed. The range is the only thing that really sucks. But when you get good, you can literally just like walk up to them and just, I don't know, it's just too good. A lot of
Saying
items
get
work
good
really well with
in
him.
the same sentence as Azazel is hilarious.
I just don't think you're that good. You're not good enough at the game. You can't compete with my Azazel.
Azazel is
Because
strange.
you can't compete with Azazel because Azazel's one of the most broken characters in the game to start with.
He is.
Well,
He is the most broken character in the game, and that's why he's the best.
let me pose this though. So I think Azazel is a character that peaks really well in the early part of the game, but I have some check marks on him that were a bitch and a half to fucking get done, because you better be praying for those range up pills, or you're not. I just saw you launch the game.
Yeah, because I need to see my check marks.
You need range up on Azazel, or you're just not dealing with these bullet hells later on with these bosses. You know what I mean? Try beating Delirium with no range on Azazel.
Yeah, have fun
Right.
with trying to kill Hush.
And you gotta keep in mind, this dude starts with 3 black hearts. Like, you don't even get any red hearts.
But the black hearts are so OP because if you're in an entire room,
well, they
like,
do
sure,
damage, but you lose them. You don't get them back.
You can waste them.
Right.
But
I mean,
still,
it's certainly not like Blue
best of all the
Baby
hearts
has the
except for
same
red
problem, right? Blue
Yeah,
Baby
'cause
is like, oh, I have 3 blue hearts, which don't
Yeah.
even do damage. But the real thing is that you don't have hearts that come back,
Yeah.
right? But Blue Baby also doesn't have flight. He just sucks because he's Blue
True.
Baby.
There is a blessing and a curse
But-
to it, though. You don't lose Devil Deal chance if you get hit as Azazel or Blue Baby.
That's true. The Devil
'Cause
Deal
if you
is
have
a
red hearts-
huge
Which makes
fucking part of
which
this
makes
game.
him, which is why he's a broken, one of the most broken characters in the game.
He probably is the most broken character in the game. The only other character I could think that like stands anywhere close to him would be
Wow.
Eden.
So I don't have anything to do with. I haven't touched any tainted characters yet, so I'm not even sure
Yeah,
how
I've
good
kind
some
of
the tainted characters are.
I've kind of avoided that for the most part. I've played a little bit of Tainted Isaac.
Yeah.
Our favorite character for a long time was Isaac, just because I liked once you unlock the D6 on him, it actually becomes really fun because most runs, if you get a shitty item, you can re-roll it, and that just like having that power is crazy in the game. Like it breaks certain runs, especially if you get items stacked. You get like a battery power up thing to just keep charging it.
Yeah.
I think once Repentance came out, though, my favorite character is probably Bethany.
I wanted to guess Bethany for you. I'm
Because
surprised you haven't brought up Bethany.
Bethany is really fun. Bethany starts with Book of whatever the fuck it's called. The blue one. I'll put it on the screen. Which is when you use it, you can have it, and you can have another active item on top of it. And whenever you use it, it just spawns like wisps around you. But the fun thing is that Bethany gets fucking angel deals super easy, which I'm an angel deal enjoyer.
I'm gonna retract my statement by saying Azazel is not the most broken character in the game, but it's the broken character that a newish person to the game, and I'm not saying a noob, I'm talking like someone who's even played 100 hours of this game could abuse to get farther or whatnot. Because if we're talking really broken,
True broken.
if we're really
the
talking
Tainted?
broken, fucking Tainted Cain.
Yeah.
Like Tainted Cain had to be nerfed like I don't even know how many times he got nerfed. All I know is I just kept hearing about how often
Because you
he
can
was
use
nerfed or
his
whatnot.
crafting shit to just
Yeah, but now it's locked
abuse
into
stuff.
specific seeds. Like once you load into the game, he has a specific set of crafts. He can't do anything outside of those crafts.
really,
From my understanding. Because before it was you just sit in a secret room and you were able to craft a whole lot of shit based off of the secret room stuff. And like that, like yeah, your runs are 2 hours long, 3 hours long, but you broke the game to the sense of absolute mayhem. It's like getting the D20 in Greed, right? Like it's just
Yeah.
it's something that completely broke the game.
And
So,
we're
like-
talking about this, and here's one thing. Isaac kind of is meant to be broken. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Edmund did not try hard to be like, and no crazy stuff, guys. Like, he put in all this stuff because I think he likes seeing the crazy combos that people sort of come up with. And I like that sometimes you just get a run and it's insane. You just click once with the mouse, whole screen fills with white.
And I should preface my point too. Like I'm not talking like.
Oh yeah,
I'm
we're not
talking
saying
right
this
out of
is
the
like a
gate.
balance issue.
Yeah,
You're just
no,
saying
I'm
he is the
talking right out of the
most
gates.
broken. You're right.
Right out of the gates, he's strong. He has flight, which is really good. He's got the mini brimstone. Yeah, the range sucks, but like really early game, the brimstone's fucking amazing, right? He's fast. He doesn't have red hearts. Like we talked about all the pros on him, right? Like the cons are his range. Ooh. And then is his health.
Late
He
game,
can't
the
replenish health,
rage.
right? You know, like 'cause he can't replenish health with red hearts. So like when a red heart drops, it's like, oh, that kind of sucks. But once you get better with the game, you don't get hit as often. That's not really an issue anymore, right? Then Azazel just becomes better. Like, so I'm not, trying to put Matt down by saying I know we joke around like, oh, of course your favorite character is Azazel. Like it's a fun character for sure.
Oh yeah.
I just think it's extremely strong for basically a newer player to play. And if someone just starts this game, gets Azazel, and then just only plays Azazel for that period of time of them playing, they don't really experience the game because you just kind of skip over a lot of things, in my opinion, by
He
just
definitely
using
works
Azazel.
You're absolutely
differently
right.
just starting with Brimstone, and that when you get items that would affect like tiers, it's just different.
Yeah,
Right?
no, you're 100% right on that because there's a lot of items that work specifically with tiers that do not work with Azazel.
Mm-hmm. Or it's just reduced as not as good because it's a laser.
For that.
Getting Brimstone on Azazel though is kind of.
Oh, the regular Brimstone.
Shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Not the updated one with the
No, not Repentance Brimstone.
Yeah,
No, we
Repentance
don't. We don't
Brimstone
fuck with
on
that
release.
here in this household.
Is it still bad?
This is a Repentance unnerf pack household. I'm sorry.
Real.
That's true. We all use the Repentance unnerf pack because we just don't care to play with the new rules.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we're biased, everybody. Congratulations.
Yep. Have fun with your video games. Fuck you.
Now, I guess another reason why I'm not really into Azazel is because to unlock my favorite character, you're basically forced to use Azazel. And it's really fucking difficult because I like playing the Forgotten. That's the character I'm looking right now.
Okay.
I have the most marks on. I don't have Delirium or Mother.
Forgotten is probably the most unique.
To unlock the Forgotten, I had to just absolutely spam Azazel, which is why it left a bad taste in my mouth because it was just such a tight challenge. Like I don't know, Matt, do you know how to unlock do you have the Forgotten?
Yeah.
Okay, so you remember the challenge for it?
Yeah.
It's fucking literally on the dot. You have to play perfect.
Yeah.
And that's it, right? Like that's
really easy.
That's what it calls.
Just hide in like a corner over a rock. None of the enemies can hit you.
I think
you have a laser.
But that's not how the challenge happens because you get stomped by mom's foot every 2 seconds.
Well, you need to get host hat.
Yeah, you gotta get host hat seed.
I didn't get host hat at all. I never got it once.
He did it. He did it legit. I think when I did it with host hat as well.
You fuckers! I never got it.
Just get lucky, retard.
I never got it dropped. That's why.
What, your RNG's not that good?
Just roll a better seed.
Oh man. I was like sitting there like, no way, like he's talking about sitting in a corner. That's not how you can't do that. That's not how this works.
Yeah. I love me.
Oh, whatever. No, I like the Forgotten. I think he's pretty neat.
Forgotten is really unique.
I think the melee aspect, the fact that range up increases your melee swing, but if you get too much range up, it now becomes a ranged attack that has a gap in the middle, so you actually can't hit things right in front of you. I think that's really cool.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I really just like the fact that, I mean, just like Azazel, you have flight with the soul. It's tethered to you, though. You can use the skull as a body blocker. Like, it changes the game enough to be like, ooh, this is interesting. Like, I've never really was one to play. I don't have many marks on stuff like Cain and Judas and Samson because they're just basically playing clones. Isaac with slightly different stats, right?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, if you play something like Azazel, Eden, I mean, Eden's just completely random. Lilith, Apollyon, I forgot, like, you're playing something that's completely different now. Like, the game has changed.
They definitely got a lot more creative with characters as stuff went on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they completely missed the ball with Jacob and Hitbox.
Hey, Jacob and Hitbox. I can't. My brain doesn't work with playing them. They released the best and the worst character in Repentance. This is for all my Bethany enjoyers. I was gonna say with the soul. Another interesting thing with the Forgotten is when you steal a Devil Deal thing with the soul, and then retract it before you die, and then you can't enter the soul. Do you know about this?
Oh yeah, if you run out of soul hearts on the soul,
You
you
just
can't go
can't
into it.
activate it. But you can
Normally you
yoink devil
die if you
deals this
actually.
way.
Yep. Yeah, if you die, so they have the 2 health bars, right? But if one of them dies, your character's dead. You don't just lose that form. Like if you lose in soul, you die. But yeah,
But
if you grab that devil deal and snap back within the frame before it actually kills you, you get to keep the item. It
mhm.
takes away the health from the soul, and then you're fine because if you pick up another soul heart, then your soul's back. Like it's a cool interaction that I don't even know if that's intended. I don't know if that
I
was a
think it
bug
was
that they
intended.
just kept.
But if it wasn't intended, I'm glad they kept it.
Yeah.
Because I think it's
Yeah, I
very
just
funny
think
and
that's
unique.
really fucking cool, right?
That's what I'm saying. I really like the direction that they took the game, just overall. I love the art of the game. Everything is fucking gross.
The
You know what
art
I
is
mean?
actually amazing.
The art does a really good job at being gross, but not being so like obviously repulsive on purpose that it comes off as like tacky or something. The
Yeah.
game has this drawn art style, and I very much like that. I don't play with the pixels on, I play with the drawing, right? Because I sort of like the art style like Isaac has drawn it. A lot
What
of
do you
the
mean pixels?
enemies, people pointed this out, a lot of the enemies, especially the ones higher up on floors, look like Isaac, right?
Yeah.
Because he's probably drawing, like the sort of theory people have come up with is he's probably drawing enemies that look similar to him because he doesn't really know what to draw, and then he's drawing like spiders.
They're Isaac, but they're totally
Yeah,
just
every
disgusting.
every variation of these all the gapers and all that stuff.
Can we pause for a second here? What do you mean pixel versus drawn?
There's a toggle in settings to toggle between pixel and smooth drawn art style in the game. It's not crazy
Where?
noticeable for most people, but I very much like the drawn version.
What is it? What does it start off on? Drawn
I think it
or
starts on
pixel?
pixels.
Where the fuck is this? I want to see this now. Where's this setting?
It's most noticeable on Isaac's sprite and enemy
It's the
sprites.
filter.
Yeah, the filter.
Oh, it's called filter. Okay. Oh yeah, that makes it extremely pixelated. Holy shit.
See what I mean? And so the pixel was more actually the new art style for the remake of the game, I'm pretty sure. And the drawn is more similar to the original like Flash game. Because the original Flash game is entirely drawn actually.
Oh, that's cool.
If it wasn't drawn literally pen and paper, it was drawn very much to look like it was actually drawn out for the game. And so I just think that's neat that they decided to go with that sort of art style for the game. And I mean, they have to make all these fucking sprites. Think of how many fucking textures are in the game. It's
Oh
a
my
lot.
god. Thousands, literally
So
thousands.
you got to keep your art style like reproducible at a good rate. But
I
still
honestly
unique.
don't think I've seen half of the enemies as base models in so long, just due to the fact of the amount of cosmetic mods that I use.
Mods are great for this game. I love the modding community. I'm just thinking of it now. Like, the modding community for Isaac is one of the best.
But no, just the shit like, I don't know, I just went down and I have Fatty being a giant muscle man, you know? Like, to me, that's funny, you know? Or Chad, I'm pretty sure I have Chad, like...
Giga Chad.
I think I have Giga Chad.
That's pretty awesome.
You know, like this is the type of crap that I keep returning back to. You know, like this is what I want in my video game.
Oh my god.
We could talk about bloat. How much do you hate bloat?
That's a fucking stupid.
By far the worst
That's a
boss.
stupid boss.
Yeah, I don't.
There's no need. There's no need to have.
It's like a little
less
war
than a
crime.
frame attack.
Yeah.
You know, like it's baitable once you learn it, but like it is just so frustrating. And I mean, if we want to talk about crappy boss design too, like, I mean, Delirium's on the table here.
Yeah,
Like it's
that
a cool
that is
idea.
actually something. Yeah, he was so
Delirium himself
Edmund
is a
really
cool
didn't
idea,
like
but...
that he was the final boss actually, and I think that's why he made Repentance. Part of the reason, at least, is because people are like, "This sucks," and I do kind of
bullshit
agree.
is the telefragging, right? Like the
Delirium-
fact that he can just literally teleport onto you is just
Delirium
bullshit.
kind of feels like luck, and so I've I've 100%ed the Lost, which means I've beat Delirium on hard as the Lost, and I think it was up to luck, honestly. It was just lucky that I didn't get telefragged because a lot of people have talked about he just teleports on top of you sometimes and there's actually nothing you can do. There's no dodgeable way to do it. And it's not really fun. I don't think he's a very fun boss. I actually like the Beast a lot more. I thought that was creative having like a side thing.
Like the idea behind the Delirium of where he transforms into any other boss to attack you is a cool idea. Like let's say we remove the telefragging out of it. It's still going to be a luck-based boss because is he turning into the bloat or is he turning into Baby Plum? Is he turning into the fucking one of the horsemen or is he turning into Bumbino?
Or
like
Satan.
You know what I mean?
He can be every boss. He can be other final bosses.
He can be every boss.
He can be Mega
So it's just like you could roll all basement bosses for the entire fight, and it's just kind of easy. Or the first thing he turns into, like you said, is Mom's foot, and then it immediately goes into Satan, then immediately goes into like, you know what I mean? Like it just at that point, it's like, whoa, settle down here, right?
I think also in the boss fight, he is switching too much. He doesn't give enough time to linger on one thing to even get out more than like one attack. You know what I mean? Let's say
sometimes he transforms. Yeah, he transforms into a boss not to do anything, and then transforms immediately into another boss, and it's like, oh.
Yeah, and it's like maybe that could be a cool to like bait you, but it seems like it just happens like every time. Definitely, I agree. Delirium. I'm glad that he's not like the final boss, anymore.
Yeah, it's a good concept though for a boss.
Good concept, but poor execution. I think is what a lot of people agree on.
Yeah, I would think that's a fair
a thing related to Delirium, but just the game in general as well, is visual clarity with the game. Obviously, if you get like a gazillion items and you shoot, like your screen is going to be a bunch of colors, right? You're not going to be able to see much. And Isaac is not known for having visual clarity, but sometimes when I'm fighting Delirium and the static, like I cannot tell what is going on.
Yes.
At all.
Preach louder for the people in the back.
So Isaac, obviously, it's not known for visual clarity, but I think effects like that should be reduced and stuff like that.
Yeah. Or even if they're not like reduced for like how like what do you call it? Like they're not as intense. You just reduce the amount that those effects are applied to you.
I'm sure a modder has probably done this as well.
Oh, probably.
That we're saying this, but it would be nice to see it in the actual game as well.
If you get to Delirium and do not encounter any boss in the run that you're currently doing, Delirium is unable to transform into anything.
Wait, really?
Because normally you have to beat Mom to even have access to the Void anyways, but if for whatever reason you like access...
glitched down there.
Okay, right here. If you use We Need to Go Deeper, you can access a dark room, then create a crawl space there. Entering the crawl space and leaving it through an unintended direction will lead Isaac to an I Am Error room, allowing access to the Void, all without fighting any bosses. And if you do all of that, then Delirium literally cannot transform into anything.
That's really funny. I didn't know that.
Interesting.
And you have to also find Delirium without entering
any of the
wrong room because
they all have bosses.
Yeah,
because they all have bosses in those.
Yeah,
dude, we gotta try that.
This is so stupid.
I think another thing that I don't know if anybody mentioned it prior, but the music in the game.
Yeah, let's talk music.
Yeah, like the music is like some of the best I've ever heard in any video game.
I adore the soundtrack for sure.
It's so good for like how the game actually is played. When you're in a boss fight and you hear that intense like guitar riffed music, like the Hush boss fight music is my personal favorite out of any of the songs in the entire game. It is so intense and it's perfect for the Hush fight.
The music is definitely, it's very fitting. If I had to give a favorite track, I would probably say the Satan theme, which is called Hericide, I believe, which is interesting because Hericide means killing of one's master, which is, there's some lore there. Now, I'm not crazy deep on the Isaac lore, and I don't know if we're going to get into it.
I don't even want to get into that.
I don't really want to get into it.
I don't know much about the lore.
I don't know enough to comment, but that's an interesting thing that some lore people have pointed out.
Yeah.
But for example, the music does vary quite a bit. Like the secret room theme and stuff is very subdued and quiet,
Yeah.
and it would be remiss not to mention Anti-Birth, at least in this video. I don't think either of you have played it, but Anti-Birth is the mod that inspired Repentance, and the guy who actually made it, Edmund hired to make Repentance. It had a fully custom soundtrack, and it goes crazy. Definitely, I would encourage more people to check that out.
I was gonna say I might have to take a listen to that then.
It's really good. It's very similar to Isaac, but in its own way. But yeah, I definitely love all the music. I love all the updates.
The sound direction it takes. I think
Yeah.
the sound direction is
Well,
pretty
Matt,
good.
Matt said this earlier that he likes the like satisfying noise of the boss exploding and shit.
Yes.
There are some pretty satisfying noises. There's also a lot of gross ass noises in the game.
That's what makes it good.
But that's the thing, it's effective in its art style. Like I said earlier, the game is gross because it's talking about a really gross topic, right? It's
True.
talking about like crazy religious fanaticism being pushed onto children, which is like a pretty intense topic. And he's showing it in an intense way where Isaac's mom is trying to stab him. She's trying to sacrifice him because it's related to the biblical story, right, of him being sacrificed. But
Right.
instead he jumps into this dingy basement that's full of like shit and monsters and spiders and all this stuff, right? And so Isaac's kind of like escaping. And I know we said we weren't going to get into the lore, but this isn't like super deep lore or anything. This is like
is all
surface
in the
level
beginning
analysis. Isaac's sort of just trying to escape and get away from his mom's like extreme religious stuff. I'm pretty sure Edmund has said multiple times that that's directly related to his upbringing, actually, and that's why he made it. That he grew up in a very religious household as an atheist, and that's part of the reason why he made the game. But I think related to the art style and what the game is trying to accomplish with its theme, that they're matching well, and I like that. The art is matching the gross theme.
Yeah.
And you said it too. It's not gross to literally get you to puke or whatever.
Yeah, it's not like it's
cartoon
a
gross,
gross
right? Like,
out
it's-
humor. It's not like, look, this guy vomited, and look how crazy that is, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You can see what he had for lunch.
It's just the game says, yeah, the basement's full of shit, and you know Isaac is running around naked crying. Like it's fucked up, but just the sheer amount that they put into this game
the
is kind of
music.
crazy. I think
Yeah.
there's something like 5,000 unique rooms at this point. 5,000
Jesus.
something.
Honestly,
you
Oh,
wanna
I
check that one,
that
Greg?
was up. That was yeah. That came up earlier.
Yeah.
There's an incredible amount. Yeah.
So really good attention to detail and replayability in the game. Like if I was
Yes.
to give like a final thought, I think one of the best strong suits of the game is replayability. It's one of the best of any game that I have played in terms of that.
like you can go back and it's like, and just keep playing. You could pick the same character 100 times in a row and have a completely different outcome every single time.
Exactly. That's the ultimate achievement of a fucking auto-generated roguelike, right?
Mhm.
Not auto-generated, but like, you know, randomly
Yeah.
generated roguelike.
And the purpose of the roguelike is it to be full. Like you don't
be
have a
unique.
game that's ever going to be the same as a game that you played previously.
Yeah.
And that's what Isaac does really good, because of the fact that maybe you start off with the same item every time if you play the same character every time, right? But like now you're going into the difference between a rogue light and a rogue like, right? Where if you start from
Mhm.
everything, or like Wizard of Legend is a rogue light because you go in with your 3 or 2 magic things that you want to use, right? And that's the part where Isaac's like, you don't get to play Isaac. Isaac plays you, like like you drop into a game and you're like, all right, what am I getting today? It's not, you don't get to really choose what you're getting. So I think that's what really makes it the whole, ordeal and replayable is that.
Yeah.
And we already talked about the items all interacting with each other. The fact that
Yeah.
no 2 items are the same, like in terms of interacting with each other. It's not just stats up. It's like we talked about the whole babies blowing up thing. Yep,
That's a
what
great
it
way to
is.
get people into the game too. is like showing them the item combos. I think that's one of the things that I actually use to get you guys into the game. I'm like, look, you can get fire tiers and then a fire laser and then a auto homing fire laser and then triple auto homing fire laser and then you just keep stacking. And that is satisfying. It's very satisfying to watch and play.
And also with the character, how the character changes with each item you get. It's not just, hey, there's this one model, and
Yeah,
you
I
got
love
fire
that.
tiers, so your eyes are on fire. That's how you're gonna look for the rest of the game.
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
love
no,
that.
it changes consistently.
I want to say is I brought it up way at the start about how, you put it down for a while and come back and you're shit at it and whatever, right? One of the reasons, that I haven't got back to the game in a while is just the fact that it's a great game to play. It is a great game to play, and the roguelikes there and all that stuff. But if you do want to play to like progress in the game rather than just playing the game for its randomness, you've really got to get past the one part. And the one part that doesn't make this thing, exact perfect game is the fact that when you have to go to Mother, no matter the character you're playing, you're forced to have to do a floor as the Lost. And the Lost is a one-hit kill, unless you have the shield for it, which is only unlocked via donating 999 coins to greed mode machine, and the machine breaks and doesn't allow you to put in all the coins at the end, or maybe you beat greed mode and only have 4 coins because you needed to use those coins to win it. Like, that is the grind aspect that I stopped to play the game for. Because if I was able to just play the game trying to get to Mother and doing that grind, I'd be okay, right? And who's to say I can't do that? But I really just don't like the fact that I'm forced to do a no-hit challenge basically for that one floor, and I lose the entire run. Not even with the character I chose to play, but because I was forced to play as the Lost in that very specific section.
That's a good point.
So that's the only
Yeah.
reason why I haven't really gone back to it, because even with modding the greed machine to not break, I don't even know. I think I'm at like 700 or 800 coins maybe. Like I'm close, but I'm still not there yet,
I
right?
did it
Like,
legit. I think it's 789 to get Holy Mantle and Lost.
oh, it's not fully
999 is
right?
greedier, I think. Or
Mm,
it's something else. It's some other reward. It might be like Keeper, actually. I definitely agree, though, with your point that I remember doing, because I did it legit to get Holy Mantle and Lost, and I have Keeper as well, so I have 1,000 donated to the machine. That was ass. I think that took me like 80 hours.
Jesus.
And so I don't blame people if they don't want to grind. I think that's probably the worst grind in the whole game, is if you want to get
I think
the
that's
thing
the
on
worst
Lost.
part of the game. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
worst part of the game because
There's other grinds in the
you're
game,
not
but they, like you
forced
said,
to
they
do
don't
it.
feel as bad. Like when you're grinding to beat Mother or something, that's just like a boss. But when you have to grind the coins in Greedier, you're gonna have to load up like 50 different Greedier runs probably and win. You know?
Then, sorry, not to beat this freaking subject down, but then Edmund had decided it would be a great idea that once you beat Greedier with a character and put coins in the machine, if you play with that character again, there is a higher chance that the machine will break.
The machine
And the
actually
more and more you
doesn't
play with
break
one
on new
character,
characters at all.
at new characters, you're right.
Yeah,
Which
and
is
then
why
it
you
has a
want to get a
chance to
really
break after.
you want to
Yeah.
get a really good run. So if you're comfortable playing the Forgotten like me, I like playing the Forgotten. I'm the most comfortable in that character. I can't just play the Forgotten in Greedier because I'm gonna get to the point, which I have, where I have 40 coins when I beat Greedier, and then I put 1 coin in and it breaks.
I've had that happen.
And
Like
that's the
actually.
part that's like, are you kidding me? That's the bullshit part. That's not a grind. At that point, that's just punishment. And
That is
That-
Isaac's
that's the
motto.
part that gets me.
Yeah.
This
That's
isn't
the
a game,
Isaac's
this is
not
punishment.
not afraid to say fuck you.
So like the
But,
game is great and amazing up to that point, and I haven't played past that point just because I could try to do it, but it just frustrates me that I'm forced to have one hit, even though I have health boost items, this items, that items, and yeah, this could be a get good situation, but it is a little bit of an annoying situation that, the green machine also isn't even the same as the regular donation machine, so it's not even like you can play normal games of Isaac to then unlock this thing, you need to play greed.
I still don't
specifically.
even have 1,000 in my normal.
Yeah.
So I never bother.
I haven't put as much time into the game as you, so I can't formulate an even more in-depth opinion. I've only fought like probably 80% of all the bosses in the game because I haven't played too much of the new DLC. So I haven't
Probably
seen
less than
hardly
that. You probably only
Yeah.
fought like 50% of the bosses, 40% even.
Yeah, they added like what, like 50 bosses in the
They
newest
added
DLC.
a lot. Yeah.
I was
Okay, so
just
yeah.
on Matt. I was just on the boss page, and like I haven't done the mother stuff a lot. And like Coin was saying, the boss in Dross, there is 5 bosses in Dross. I've never seen any of them. There is 4 bosses in Downpour. I have never seen any of them. Like going to
Yeah.
chapter 2.5.
I've seen some of the ones in like Downpour and
know,
stuff,
like-
like on the earlier floors of the new DLC, but nothing too
Yeah,
late. Like I've done like the minecart.
Start looking at mausoleum
for...
bosses. and
Yeah,
shit
I've done like
that.
minecart for the Mother boss fight, but I don't think I've ever actually beaten Mother.
Yeah, has everybody seen the horny boys in Gehenna?
Yes.
Like I haven't.
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, maybe I have only seen like 60 to 70% of the bosses in the game, but
What out of 57? Probably give it like a 45 out of 57. It's pretty
Okay.
high. I like the game a lot.
No, I would still rate it like a 50 out of 57. In all honesty, it's just I haven't gotten far enough to maybe give it a full review in the sense of like I think I've played a lot of it, but not enough to
Hey,
be,
just giving
you know.
you're giving your opinion.
I was actually also going to say
Nobody's
exactly
gonna
50
nobody's
out of
gonna be
57.
like, oh, those guys are beating the whole
Yeah,
fucking
it's-
game. What a retard! Why is he reviewing it?
Yeah,
Fucking
Isaac
game
Reddit
journalists
getting
don't even
fucking-
finish their games before reviewing them for like actual companies.
That is true. Very
They
true.
get like halfway through Spider-Man and they're like, it's a 5. It's like, you
And
didn't even
before
beat
Reddit shows up and goes, "I've had my 3rd dead god. You're just bad."
it. Matt, what would you give it?
I was gonna say the exact same as Mario.
50?
50 out of 57. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
It's
We're gonna do more of these at a future date. Probably do one after Random Video comes out about some other topic.
well. Thanks for having us on. I appreciate the invite, and it
Thank
was
you very yeah.
We'll catch
fun
you on the
time
next.
chatting about Isaac.
We'll catch you on the next episode of Coincast.
Yes, it's Coincast.
Epic funny Isaac time.